Hey everyone, good morning. And my name is Faith Afolabi, and I'm your host for the Markbridge Consults Conversations with NGO professionals in Nigeria. Today is going to be another wonderful time. I just want to thank everyone that has been going online and watch our program for the last few weeks that we started airing. It's been such an amazing time interviewing people that I respect so much, sharing their experience in the non-for-profit sector. Today will be a very exciting one as well, like I said earlier, but we're going to go to a very short break. And when we come back, we'll meet our guests for today. Stay tuned. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Markbridge Consult Media chat room of Humans of Nigeria, NGO job professionals. Now, today we have someone I've worked with. He's a professional in his field. I'll allow him to introduce himself. So let's meet him.
Hi everyone. Good morning. My name is Osebi Adams, and I like to describe myself as an M&E professional, what is popularly known as monitoring and evaluation for most development projects. I've been in the sector for probably around 10 years now, and I've been doing the best I know how to do and trying to improve as well. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that's wonderful. So Mr. Osebi, would you like to tell us how you started on this journey?
Well, that's a very interesting one. It reminds me, I think about 10 years ago, actually, just coming off from school. By the way, I have a degree in computer science with statistics.
Wow.
And so while I was studying in school, I knew I always wanted to work in a social science setting, specifically where you get to interact with people, the challenges they face, and be able to contribute or help as much as you can. But the truth was that I didn't really know how back then in school. But fortunately, as soon as I came out of school while in camp, I got the information that some international NGOs, I got a couple names of NGOs, that were looking for, core members to start as interns with them. And it got my interest, and I followed up with a number of them, and that was how I joined the BBC Media Action. Then it used to be called the BBC World Service Trust, but now BBC Media Action. So I joined them as an intern. Yeah.
So that's how
I
Abuja.
started. It's a very interesting.
Okay.
That's in
Abuja, right?
Abuja. Yes.
I think I know them early in my career as well. I was in Abuja,
yes.
So that was my starting point. Okay, interesting. So I'd like to know, what's the interesting thing for you is that you always had passion for numbers, so it's easy for you to do monitoring and evaluation. But I hear some people call it NEIL. Is it different from the M&E? Is NEIL different, or is it the same thing, or it actually grew over time?
Yeah, monitoring just means that you are checking that the project is doing exactly what it's promised to do in terms of day-to-day activities. Evaluation is that you are actually evaluating the so what. So if you are doing so and so thing, so what then? What's happening? What's the impact of it? So that's where evaluation comes in. And then accountability is that you are giving the beneficiaries opportunity to hold the project and its staff to account, in the sense that you are making sure that people are not doing anything extra or less in terms of harming the beneficiary. So if a project has promised maybe health care or health supplies, you are making sure, accountability is making sure that project staff are actually making sure that the very last drop of commodities are getting to beneficiaries and nothing is missing in between, and so on. So there's a whole system for how that is managed and implemented. The learning part of it is that whilst you are doing all of this, as an organization, you need to learn so that you can improve. You need to learn about what's working, what's not working, and improve. So my organization, buckets all of this in one. and then gives it to the male department where I fall in, to manage. So that's what we do.
Wow, that's 4 pillars you're holding. Okay, so we're going to go on a very short break, and when we come back, we'll continue our gist. For those of us just joining, this is the Markbridge Consult Media Chat Room, and I'm your host, Faith Afolabi, the founder of Markbridge Consult, an online resource capacity building platform. So stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back from that very short break, and we've been speaking with Mr. Osebi Adams, and he is a monitoring and evaluation expert in the non-for-profit sector, and he's been speaking to us on the different components of monitoring and evaluation. So you might want to tell us more on, for example, you are lucky that your organization actually carries the whole bucket. Now, for someone that wants to do this, how can the person start? How do you advise that such person to go about it? From the basics, is it a must that you must know everything? Does it give you the opportunity? Or can you just say, okay, you know what, I just want to do monitoring and evaluation?
So let me take it from how you get started. First of all, I think it actually starts with interest and passion. So whilst I can say it's a job, anybody can do a job, but actually what would help you grow and what will help you do what you feel is meaningful is the passion, and if you are interested in what you do. By that I mean that, for instance, if you find that you are really not interested in numbers, or if you are really not interested in talking to people, so if you feel like talking to people is not your job, or it's not the kind of thing you like to do, because there will be times when you need to collect data, you need to speak to strangers, yes, you need to do a lot of stuff that relates to interacting with people. So if you really can't do that, you might have some trouble, starting or being in this career. Also, if you're not interested in numbers, if numbers make you sleep, you might have some challenges as well. So getting started, checking yourself and seeing if this is something you're interested in. But I'm not, I don't want to scare anyone. I'm not saying the numbers are weird or scary.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, yes, I'm just saying that actually you should just check if that's kind of like part of your interest, because it will help. It would help. And in terms of getting started, the good thing is that there are a lot of resources out there. Okay. So if you are a starter and you really want to get a job, or you want to get started in this career, I would say you could go online, read more about monitoring, evaluation, what the differences are, read about accountability, learning. In some other climes, accountability is called collaborative learning. Okay. So just read about those things. You would find a lot of 1-hour courses, 2 hours or longer, and online resources that you could read the basics with. And then you could, with all of that information, coupled with your interest, I'm sure you could find an assistant or an officer role somewhere to get started with, or you could volunteer, you could do some internship to get you started. I actually started as an intern back then in 2010.
Were you in school or you were out of school?
I was out of school already. In fact, I was a core member at the time. So fortunately, where I was posted, it's a funny story, where I was posted, I got rejected.
Tell us. I want to hear more on that story.
So because I studied computer science with statistics, back in school, I was more inclined to want to work in telecoms,
That's where the money is.
Yeah, kind of,
Tell us at what point where you say, okay, I want to do social sciences, and the money wasn't it.
So I'm going to tell you. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you now. To be honest, I was quite passionate about technology. It's a long story. I could tell you way back as a kid, some of the things I used to do. I used to construct cars and do a few things. Put some electrical stuff together. So I was quite passionate about technology.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I haven't stopped really. So I use some of my spare time to take care of that. But that made me more inclined to wanting to, be in the technological sector. So I hustled, as we used to say, to get posted to one of the telecoms, providers,
Okay.
service providers. Yes. So I was posted there quite all right, but unfortunately, they said they had their hands full and they didn't need any more core members. So they
Oh.
rejected all of us, the batch. Yeah. So at that point, we had to look for what else is available. And then fortunately, I would say really fortunately, because it's not everyone that would find other opportunities that would interest you. So, but fortunately, I found something else that matched my interest as well as my educational background. So going into M&E with a statistics degree as well. My degree was both computer science and statistics. So it kind of, made things work better for me. But that's not to say anyone. I know lawyers who are my colleagues in M&E. I know some medical doctors. I recently had a boss who was a medical doctor, but he's an M&E professional. So anybody really can do M&E. It's just about interest and how much you're willing to put in. So, yeah.
Okay, I was waiting how they rejected you and how you now got into. I was waiting for that gist.
So I think I just breezed over it because of time. But the thing was, in asking questions, so where else can we go and all of that. So that I got information about NGOs who were looking for interns, and then I applied. They interviewed us, and selected a few of us. I think they interviewed a number of us and selected 3 of us eventually. Fortunately, right there in the interview, I was still rooting for an IT related, role. Okay. Because I was asked in the interview after, I think towards the end, the country director asked me then, a lady, and was like, so we have all these departments, where do you think you would fit? And I was like, oh, I'll be good in the IT, just because of my computer science degree and because I tend to, lean towards IT. But she said something that really struck me. She said, from our conversation so far and from your educational background, I could see that you are also quite passionate about people, data, research, because I mentioned a couple of things I had done as well. And then she said, so based on that, I would suggest that I pushed you to our research and learning department. So I was like, wow, what's that? Okay, I think I like that one. So that was how, she sent me to, she deployed me to the research and learning team. And that team was wonderful. I spent a lot of years in that. Yeah, I spent a lot of years in that organization, and they, strengthened my background. It was a place where you were given opportunity to learn, make mistakes, and you had a lot of support within the team, to guide you. So I learned a lot of the fundamentals, not by reading really, or on the job. So that was the opportunity I had. But not everyone would have those kind of settings. Yes. So you can also learn online. I even think that there's more now you can learn online than
much resource
than there used to be 10 years ago. So like you could almost become a full professional just by going through online resources, and projects.
Beautiful. So has there been any low moments for you? And if there were moments that you said, okay, you know what, I'm not doing this research thing, I'm just going to go back to that my telecommunication. If there were such moments, how did you deal with it?
Yes. Actually, to be honest, there were such moments. And what I realized is that such moments come with people, sometimes it's about the people you work with, and people are different. Not to say that they are bad people really, but people are different, they react differently to different things. So there are moments when you really find a hard time, getting certain things done just because of the people you're working with. But also I've learned that those are the times where you need to draw on your experience. Yes, yeah, you need to draw on your experience. You also need to, you need to draw on being objective, and focusing on what needs to be done and who needs to do what. So at that point, you'd be able to pull through. So I think those were my really low moments. Otherwise, I sometimes get comfortable in what I do. And when I find that I'm in those moments, I begin to ask, okay, what else can I do, to make it better?
Challenge yourself.
Yeah. And now every day there are new trends, new tools. If you think you've learned this and this, you're somewhere tomorrow and people are talking about the next big thing. So you just need to keep learning and improving. If you have those technicals, and then you can manage people. I mean, you can try as much as possible to manage people as well as you, to make life easy for you.
Wow. This has been such an exciting time with you, Mr. Osebi Adams. And you spoke very
Thank you. It's a pleasure as well.
Yeah. Mentoring is something that young people need in today's environment. That was like a turning point for you. If that lady didn't speak to you the way she did, you probably would have been chasing IT and maybe ended up really like, yes. And you talked about interest and background. You've spoken your last words to our audience there. And for someone listening there, I'm sure you've picked one or two things from our guest today. So I want to say thank you for staying with us. It's been such an amazing time with you. We may call upon you again in future and hope you say yes in your very busy schedule. Guys, it took me 3 weeks to get here, guys.
You're telling everybody.
Yes. So it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful learning from experience, starting as an intern. People, it's doable. Getting into the non-for-profit sector from wherever you are, it's possible. People have done that and you can still do it. And that's why we're here to guide you. So thank you. If you're just joining in, this is the Markbridge Consult Media Chat Room. This is where we call the day a close. And so please subscribe on our YouTube channel, on all the social media handles that will be showing right after this message. My name remains Faith Afolabi, and it's a goodbye from me. See you next time. Bye.